Oh, howdy, y'all. Cliff Turd Higgins. Actually, that's Clifton. The dental person of the YTPC. And because he lives in Arkansas somewhere, I guarantee he's seen pretty much every major tooth problem you can ever possibly name or mention. Which means he's probably a really, really good dentist. I mean, if he just wanted to be somewhat good, he'd say he was from Mississippi. If he was only slightly good, he'd say he was from Missouri. But no, he claims Arkansas. And I'm going to get this little ant that keeps trying to come towards me before he ever gets really towards me. Hopefully I got him. Wow, 21-year-old man and his teeth are shot. All of them need to be extracted and dentures. As the curiosity comes there, Cliff, would meth be part of the problem? Good Lord, 21. You should by accident be able to take care of your teeth better than that still at 21. That should be like I don't know, second nature to I can't even come up with something. Osio, Steve, and of course Miss Kathy. Howdy y'all, how are y'all doing today? So meth was not the issue, but he got the same issues. That's horrible. Howdy Ohio, how's it going, sir? By the way, go green, go white. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, I could see the drinking the crap out of the energy drinks or Mountain Dew or any of those soda things, and never brushing is doing some severe damage. I remember when I was 21, I never needed an energy drink for energy. Hell, I practically didn't even have them. Not to say I didn't drink a few sodas too many in my time. I'm sure I have. But, okay, close your eyes for a second and think back with me to when y'all were 21 and tell me, did you not have like more energy than any 30-year-old on the planet? And I'll tell you right now, you give me the energy I had when I was 30 compared to now in my 40s, shoot. Y'all think I'm crazy now. You should see me when I had all the energy in the world. Howdy, Eddie. How is Fort Worth for you? Yeah. Surprisingly, they say that Mountain Dew mouth runs real rampant up in Tennessee. We'll have to get John and Willie to smile for us sometime. See if that's actually true. No, he drinks Pepsi. That's right. He's not a Mountain Dew guy. They're made by the same company. Just saying. Scott, yes, the 16th day, sir. Absolutely. Somebody tells me that they didn't have way too much energy at 21. I think I slept like, what, an hour a day, and I was fine with that. Kentucky. Kentucky is bad also. I'm betting. I'm betting the dentists get together and have full-on conventions about how bad's the teeth in your neck of the woods. Both of them. Steve, you didn't really climb that tree. You climbed that ladder next to that tree. And then that tree told you you shouldn't have done that. We know, we know. Kathy shouldn't have been telling that story. Thank you, Miss Kathy. We appreciate it, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you don't have plenty of energy. But now you, compared to 21-year-old you, I guarantee 21-year-old you had more energy. What, it's like 25. At 25, you peak. That's physical condition and energy. That's where you're going to peak as a guy. From there, it kind of it will either level off or plateau or it will decline. Now you can do physical exercises and stuff, and you can maintain that level, but you're never going to actually exceed that level. Really, there's a soft drink that's worse than Mountain Dew in Kentucky called T8 or Tate. Good thing they didn't put an A after that T, because that'd be a whole different subject. Telling me taint comes in a can? All right. Cliff, you stay away from that damn Kentucky soda. 6 kids, you don't need no more. I can believe it, Cliff. How's the weather and humidity in your neck of the woods? All go ahead, throw some out there. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and look mine up real quick. Not that it'll be hard to do, just that that's what I'm going to do. Let me see here. Ooh, it's down slightly. It says nothing about the humidity though. Ah, 63% humidity and only 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So it feels like 98. Howdy, Chad. Glad to have you all in. Don't worry, that's just a call. Yeah, we're all kind of feeling the heat of summer nowadays, aren't we? That's all right though. So I have some interesting statement for y'all. Parsimonious Piper. Y'all know Ethan. If you don't know Ethan, maybe you should know Ethan. He decided he would do the pipe week challenge. I think he did a pretty good job of it too. Y'all might want to go give that a small look. He's named 2 guys that don't have a whole lot of exposure in the YTPC. It might be good to help shovel a couple of hundred guys at them. Y'all could help shovel a couple of hundred at me too, but I mean, it's not going to happen. They're not going to sub me. People are not subbing this channel. Hey. Oh yeah, 105. Woo. That heat index is a booger, isn't it? It's roasted brain cells hot out there. Oh, I'm gonna real quick tell my wife, later baby. She's been sitting here with me. You can see how much she likes me. Slam. Cliff, I think it's because I don't care. I don't care if I have 1 subscriber. I mean, it would be a really, really boring show if nobody was subscribed. This is all about hanging out with friends and basically family. If y'all weren't here, this little segmented crazy thing that I do called tailgating, it never happened. Be no reason for it. Plus, I think some people get really, really turned off by some of my rough sense of humor. And some of my rougher language might be unsuitable for certain viewers. Oh, and there's a lot of people out there that really, they're not going to enjoy my view on firearms. I could probably fill up a whole show just listing reasons why people don't want to follow me. I'm okay with that, though. Nobody has to follow me. Doesn't matter if they do or not. In fact, it's actually kind of more fun if they don't. Oh, there's people out there that might be a little bit mad because I shaved the sides off, but I left the goatee. Because I'll pick on people and I'll go on other people's shows and I'll pick on people. Maybe I'm just not. Cliff, you know, it's kind of like the difference between a surgeon and a certain comedian known as Gallagher. You're pretty certain that a surgeon can take somebody apart. And you're extremely certain that Gallagher can take just about anything apart with his sledge-o-matic. But the people in the first 12 rows might or might not be expecting to come home with pieces of fruit salad all over them from crap that's sprayed around. And as I like to say, the excrement that falls into the fan is not always distributed evenly. Steve, I appreciate it. I mean, I like to say stuff like, if you love your woman, get her a gun, make sure she knows how to use it, make sure it's legal for her to have it, and supply some bullets. Hey, you can't always be there to protect your woman, but if she's got that gun with her at all times, she can protect herself, and that's damn near just as good. That is true, Chad. I'm pretty certain that most of us would prefer to watch Gallagher than surgery. But for you, I think I'll do this with a more let's see if we can't do it with a more music-related theory. There's Beethoven way over here, and then where I'm at, way over here on this side, there's auto tune. Well, auto tune might be good music, but it's still, for those of y'all who like a real virtuoso, it is not going to compare to Beethoven or Bach or something that really, really makes you just go, wow. My mother-in-law was watching something today earlier, or maybe she was just listening to something. I was in the kitchen, I wasn't anywhere near her, but the song had like 8 words total. And they just kept repeating over and over and over on loop. And I mean, I'm certain there's kids out there that love this crap. And no, it wasn't that song that goes, "Alls I do is work, 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 work," and somebody thinks that's good music. And quite honestly, that song that I just mentioned about working, it wouldn't have sold a single copy if that girl wasn't at least decent to look at. You let someone who looks like me sing that song, it wouldn't sell 2 copies. And Chad, yes, I agree with you entirely. As soon as somebody in the government starts saying, "Well, what are you going to do against a nuclear weapon?" I'm going to sit in certain places up to including 3.5 miles away and see if I can't lob mortars at you, if that's what it takes. I can, in my head, do the trajectory calculations for about 3.5 miles. 3/4 of a mile, I can probably get the bolt action Barrett. I've got one. It was a lot more expensive to buy the semi-automatic one, which was legal to buy. But I figured at the price of lead and powder that it takes to fire off one, I didn't want to lose the brass either. So, yeah. Huva Ilta Boris. Howdy, sir. Great to have y'all in today. By the way, of course, yes, I am still just the same old, definitely crazy person as normal. Dave, howdy, sir. Glad to have you in. Dave, are there multiples of single guns? Because, I mean, in that case, then just like you, I don't have one single gun. You have to remember semantics. I don't have one single gun. I have a freaking arsenal in there if I need to. Martin at Over a Pipe. Well, I'll believe you on the listening part. I'm not so sure about the working. But okay. And no, guns are not the only thing that are going to separate me from the masses. Yes, Cliff, I do believe that term was coined by a fellow I used to know named Richard Cranium. Don't worry, Martin. We know you are just trolling my page to see where you can get yourself some good old fashioned sound bites. I'm sure some of them are coming. Sooner or later. Something I say is going to make people go, "What the hell did he just say?" My filter and dump button doesn't work. Wouldn't that be horrible if I had to do a show with somebody that was holding a dump button so that they could erase the last 10 seconds? That would turn this show into a real shit show. For real. God. Hard not to feel bad about my pipe week challenge having the 9 minutes for people who have passed, and then this that happens with LaDawn right here during pipe week. Parsimonious said, ironic. Yeah, well, that ironic makes me feel moronic. Sunny, 73 and breezy. I cannot get this load of tobacco to stay lit. I'm pretty sure I've done everything else I can do to it other than dig it out, retamp it, and try to relight it. And normally this pipe, hey, I made it. It's actually a really decent smoke. I'm lucky this show starts at 5:30. Because at 5:30 it's already past the hot part of the day. Quick question about cigars from a pipe perspective. Whew. Okay. What is your intentions for those sticks? If your intentions for those sticks are that you are about to stick them in the freezer because they came through nefarious ways to get to your house, but you want to make sure that any possible cigar beetles are completely destroyed, then definitely go with the vacuum seal. For any other reason at all, don't go with a vacuum seal. Taking all the air out of a cigar is actually detrimental. And like I said, the only reason that I would ever suggest it, okay, cigar beetles are a natural beetle. They infect cigars. They get in there, they chew little holes. And if you start seeing that you've got one cigar with a little bitty pinhole that looks like you could fit a check tool into, and I'm talking about that little pin right there on the check tool, then what you do is you vacuum seal your whole set and you stick it into the freezer for 2 weeks. You keep it below 32 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 2 weeks. Better if you can go 4. And that should kill the cigar beetles. If you don't, and you're noticing that, well, then what you're going to end up with is cigars that look like Swiss cheese and taste like bug shit. Howdy, Horatio. Howdy, sir. Glad to see you in today. And, of course, I like that song, Chad. Okay. So, Martin, send somebody to Walmart. Get a 1-gallon glass jar. Get a Boveda pack. Stick the Boveda pack in the glass jar, laying down on one side. Fill it about 5 rows deep. Put another Boveda pack in there. Fill it about 5 rows deep, and it should be pretty full. You might be able to stick a Boveda pack on the very top of that 1-gallon jar. Or use a freezer Ziploc bag. I'd go with the gallon size there also. Lastly but not least, make sure you kiss your wife in such a way as to make her toes curl, because any wife that's going to buy you enough cigars that you have a problem storing them, she's a keeper, and you need to let her know it. Anybody got a curiosity about how I feel about cigars? Well, y'all just remember, you can buy a box of cigars. Minimally, you're going to spend $100. Okay, that's here in Texas with taxes and everything. You're going to spend right at about $100 for a minimum box of cigars, 20 sticks. Okay, that's going to get you maybe 20 days if you have one smoke a day. Or you can buy 3 pounds and a tin. Yes, I just said that correctly. 3 pounds and a tin of tobacco, which should last you about 3 months. And that's smoking it all the time. Don't give a damn how much you smoke. You're probably going to run through it in 3 months. You're probably going to run through it a little bit slower than that. I smoke a lot. Just saying. Okay, well, that's great news. Miss Lee is home from the hospital. Did they say that there's like kidney stones or something, or is it just like I mean, hopefully it's a easy to handle infection that you know, a little bit of antibiotics and you can go home and you're fine. Hopefully it's not kidney stones. Speaking from experience, I wouldn't wish those on Hitler. There's lots of things I might wish to do to Hitler or the Hitler type people, but I wouldn't wish kidney stones on anybody that's anybody. Oh, great. So they're going to run a full panel of all kind of different crap on her. Nephrologist? Okay. Completely different than a neurologist. If they're trying to run her through a neurologist, they're saying that it's all in her head. Which is why I said, great, they're going to run a full panel of everything. Watch that medical bill go faster than your electric bill in California. What do you mean you only have one little LED light bulb on? I recently saw how high the rates are for electricity in California, and I was just like, God, I'm glad I'm living in Texas. Christmas Eve dinner is always fun. Around here, I always look forward to barbecue. New Year's Eve, I try to do a brisket. Yeah, Steve, that's exactly what I'm saying. If somebody was to be stupid enough and unfortunate enough to, like, shoot my own mother, I still wouldn't wish kidney stones on that person. I mean, seriously. That's how bad kidney stones are. Well, that's kind of how brisket works around here. Everybody is so full of brisket that you just kind of loosen up your belt and maybe undo the pants just a little bit so that you can breathe. And yeah, just lay there and hurt. Howdy, Todd. How are you doing today? Only 0.3%, Chad? Well, that's interesting. It might be of all the other state fees that are tacked on to what your actual rate is. Or maybe I was just looking at somebody who was posting from Los Angeles. Hard for me to say right now. I mean, I'll look it up again. Well, Cliff, my own aunt, who went through natural childbirth twice, told me that if I have the choice between giving birth or kidney stones, I should go ahead and opt for giving birth, because at least then I have something somewhat useful afterwards. Whereas all you'll end up with on the kidney stones is just the pain. Yeah, Chad, it might be that the weirdly crazy amount of extra taxes that are tacked onto everybody in California might have affected that. I didn't realize that it was 122% higher. That means that somebody in California could sell a $65,000 trailer home and move to Texas and basically get themselves a mansion. If you go by what a trailer home here would be for $65,000. That might be an idea for business. Buy a trailer here, truck it out to California, set it down, sell that sucker for the going rates there. I'd be a millionaire in about 12 trips after expenses. You also got to remember I'd have to buy the truck, because I'd want to keep doing it. Oh, thank you, Simplex. I appreciate it. Or we could just call you Horatio. I Now, everybody and anybody, y'all are all welcome to take part in the Easy as Pie Week challenge. 200K. Are you kidding me? I live in a brick 2-story that is only about, well, let's say it for real. It's only about the cost of 2 mobile homes in California. Total. Well, luckily, the only dinner I've served around here has been sriracha crickets, Reaper cheese puffs, and death nuts. I'm not calling anybody for those dinners, though a lot of y'all showed up. And yes, the first one was the worst one. Well, Cliff, he could also just eat death nuts and save the matches. Swear to God, you will not notice if something is cold or whether it's on fire. You will just feel a burning sensation. Now, if you're me, you will only feel the burning sensation here in your mouth. I've heard some people say that they feel the burning sensation all the way through till exit. I don't know what's wrong with those people. Average home in California, $750K. And they wonder why homelessness is running rampant. Because they've already got places where there's 6 people in a 1-room apartment because they can't afford the rent any other way. Yeah, well, Dave, here's the one thing I suggest if you notice that there's a lot of them moving in. You get out there and you start talking to them. And you start asking them why they moved, for real why they moved, and what they like better about here than there. Willing to bet that, oh yeah, the taxes are way better here and this, that, the other. It's going to come out of their mouth. And that's when you hit them with, well, if you start voting the way y'all voted there in California, this is going to be just like that. And you're going to want out of here too. So if you want to vote like that, just don't. We like things the way they are. They don't have to be like California. Thanks. Hell, California got so bad that my team even left California. I mean, hello. Martin, that's actually a decent question, but unless you have a flavored cigar, meaning it has been infused with something, like anything from the acid line or anything from a company called Tatiana, put those in their own Ziploc bag out in the trash can, or no, you don't actually have to throw them away. If you want to keep them around, you go right ahead. But do not stick them in with your regular sticks. I have found that if you keep Maduros directly connected to Connecticut's, that's actually bad, because the oil from the Maduros will actually start to leach over onto your Connecticut's and make them look funny, and then they will burn funny where the oil has come through. But a simple popsicle stick spacer is sufficient for that. Most humidors actually do have a small cedar spacer in there, which for most people, and most people do not know this, it's for those people who have an eclectic selection of various different cigars. You keep your high end on one side away from everything except for your other high end ones, or you keep your Connecticut's separated from your Maduros. Now, you can always alleviate that problem by just sticking a couple of natural cigars. So Maduro, natural, Connecticut. You keep your Connecticut's on one side of your naturals or Habanos or whatever. The ones that are not Maduros, but they're not Connecticut's. There's a middle ground in there. Sometimes they're called Corojos or Sumatras. I mean, there's a couple of dozen words, and we're not going to go into all of that. But you don't want to have Maduros directly in contact